Okay, we want to say good evening. Good evening, everyone. This is Mitty Man coming from back here at Studio B and C. And we want to say we give God all the praise, give Him all the glory. Another Saturday morning, early. It's after 12 now, it's after midnight. So technically, it is Saturday morning. And we want to say to y'all, we give God the praise and give Him the glory. Y'all see now, I'm on StreamYard. I'm on I'm broadcasting now from StreamYard, and I'm not going to YouTube at the moment. I can only with StreamYard, I can only stream to one platform at a time. So right about now, um I should be streaming to my page on Facebook, the Midi Man. That's what I should be doing. That's what I should be. We hoping that we are, but nevertheless, y'all, we are come back to let you know that Restream still the chat function still not working, still not working at all. But I will let y'all know that we perhaps will still do my Bible study on Tuesday night. We'll restream regardless of whether it got the chat feature working or not, because of the fact that it can stream to both platforms at the same time, Facebook as well as YouTube. I probably will still use it to do my Bible study. And like I said, I don't have that great of many people be coming in to the Bible study anyway. So it's not like I'm trying to supply a chat feature for thousands of people, because that's not the case. But for the chosen two or three that I do have, what I would ask y'all to do is just go to Facebook. And then if you want to say anything to me while I'm in a Bible study, while I'm broadcasting a Bible study with Restream, is to just type the message and send me an instant message in Messenger from Facebook, and that will do just fine. That way, at least I know that you're inside with the stream from Restream, and that you are attentive and listening in. And if you have any question or got something that you just want to tell old me, man, I'll at least know it. So that's a workaround that we're gonna do until um until they fix it. I don't think it's nothing on my side. It's not on my end. I think this is a site wise thing. I know um I think Hammerman told me that he has no problem with one of the restream that he's using, but nevertheless, he has a subscription. If I'm not mistaken, he has a subscription to that to uh let me see him post something like I got somebody wife done sent some that she hear it real good, because like I say, uh I am broadcasting from StreamYard right now. So I expect it to work like you see it. But as I was saying, that Brother Hammerman, he's paying for a prescription. He's paying for Restream, because of the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, he's using it in his church. And they require that you have, I believe, a commercial license of the application to do that. So I'm quite naturally, they would try to keep that working. But see, now I was using I was using the free version of Restream, which I am still using the free version of Restream. I saw it advertised on Facebook, and I decided I would give it a look, see, and I like what I saw, and it was working fine up until just a few days, like a day or so. Well, I can't really say when it stopped working, because I know only when I went to do my Bible study on this past Tuesday night, that's when I realized that I didn't have a chat function. And so I don't know when it stopped, but at any rate, we're not going to worry about that. But tonight on this here live broadcast, y'all, I want to talk to y'all a little bit. For those that you will listen and take heed, Y'all see in my video title tonight on this, it said Jesus told us about these days. And y'all, the days, what I'm talking about is these days that we are living in right now. These days that we are living in right now. See, now I can't speak for nobody but me. I can't speak for you all. I'm talking about this is where I stand. This is my stance on it. When I read what Jesus say, that kills it. Everything else anybody else got to say, you might as well hush. Because once I hear something that Jesus said, I take his word for it, not yours. Now I'm not trying to put you down, and I mean, and y'all should do the same thing when it comes to me. Don't matter what I say, but it's what Jesus said that matters. Because what he say is going to come to pass. The greatest prophet ever lived is Jesus, y'all. Yeah, you know what I mean? We got a lot of people going around here talking about they prophets and everything. And I'm not denying that. But I'm going to say this. The way that you know a prophet is a prophet is that what they say come to pass. If what they say don't come to pass, you ain't got to worry about that prophet because ain't nothing to him. Because a prophet hears from God. And if the prophet be a real prophet in hearing from God, whatever that prophet say, gonna come to pass. How come? Because God never fails. God never fails. So in other words, what I'm saying, y'all, is this about Jesus told about these last days. And the world we are living in now, it is ridiculous. Y'all, you look around you, look around. But it shouldn't surprise you. See, this is what I'm saying. I see, I'm in this world, ain't I? I'm living. I see all this stuff going on, but I don't let it bother me. Why? Because I know what Jesus said. He's told us that these things were going to be. Oh, yeah. He told us. That's right. I said us. These things were going to be because he told it to his disciples. When he told it to his disciples, they carried the word all over the world. So therefore, he's telling us the same thing. He was speaking in these days what we're living in right now. You talk to most people, everybody's offended. You can't hardly tell people anything these days unless they get offended. I mean, quickly they get offended, especially if you're telling them the truth. Oh my God. They don't mind you talking about what they want to talk about foolishness and this and that and other like that. I ain't got time for that, y'all. Life too short as it is for me to be worrying about talking foolish talk and worrying about who don't like me. I ain't got that kind of time to be sitting around worrying about who don't like me. Get in line. I mean, get in line. You don't like me. Get in line. Guess what? I don't lose 1 ounce sleep because you don't like me. Oh yeah. But I can remember. I want to back a few years. Because like I said, I didn't always know these things, y'all. I came to know them as I grew, as I learned, and more I studied my Bible, and the more I had to deal with life. Like everybody, we all have to go through something. Like I was talking to my sister Lena the other night. We all have to go through something. But now let me tell y'all a little story. Goes back a few years. I've always, ever since I was in college, when I went to Andrew, and right after that, I've always been, like I say, when I went to Berry in '84, after I graduated from Andrew, I went to Berry during the summer. Why? Because Berry had a work study program there in place. Berry was, I well said, Berry was pretty near self-sufficient. They grew, I mean, y'all, you talking about a 28,000 acre campus, and we had a mountain campus as well as the main campus. I mean, you talking about a beautiful place. Oh my God, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Berry is a beautiful place. And the reason I ended up at Berry is because of my dear, dear, dear sweet friend and professor from Andrew College. Her name was Ethel Georgettis. We called her Miss G. That's what we called her, Miss G. Miss G was determined for me to go to Berry. She was determined for me to go to Berry. And she did everything, God knows, she done everything she do to get me to Berry. I remember the symposium that we had at Andrew at that time when all the other recruiters came in to the school to talk to the prospective students. And I did talk to, I think his name was Dean Glover at that time, the admissions dean that talked to me from Berry at Andrew. And I remember talking to him. And Miss G was ecstatic. She was just overjoyed that I was getting ready to go to Berry. Now, one of the reasons why Miss G wanted me to go to Berry is because of the fact that when she was coming up, she wanted her mom and dad to let her go to Berry. And I forget now which one that wanted her to go, but one of her parents did not want her to go. So she ended up going to the school in Middle Georgia. Y'all know, those of you that know anything about college and schools and everything, you know, Middle Georgia, they got this in Milledgeville. That's one of the main colleges there, Middle Georgia. I had a buddy that was my roommate for 1 quarter at Berry. He was from Middle Georgia, and he came from Middle Georgia school. And she ended up going there instead of Berry. So when it came time for me to get out of school at Andrew, she was determined for me to go to Berry. And guess what? She did it. All the paperwork. I mean, Miss G, she's no longer with us, y'all. She's no longer with us. And God knows couldn't have had a better friend than Miss G. I mean, she done everything. She did the financial aid paperwork, everything that I needed in order to transition from Andrew to go straight on into Berry. And then when I got ready to go during that summer, she not only had already done all this stuff, but I could just tell you many other nice things she done for me to prepare me to get me ready to go up to Berry. Now I said that y'all to say this here. Once I got to Berry, I was working with a crew there on the work study program. My buddy, I don't know if he's still with us and his wife or not, but I worked with both of them. Lewis was the boss over there. Like I said, we had a great work study plan. And Lewis we called the wrecking crew. That's what we worked on. Y'all, the ones that read my book, you should already know what I mean when I say the wrecking crew. It was me, a big 7-foot mountain man we called Tim Cornell. Great guy. He was a 7-footer from Port St. Lucie, Florida. 7-foot guy, Tim Cornell. Y'all asking that, yes, he was a white guy. I just gonna say it. I hate to say that, but you know, you got to explain to more people they wants to know. Well, it was me, Tim Cornell, Lane, and Pat Bateman. Lane was named, he was a Robinson, but it was Lane Robinson, Pat Bateman, myself, and Tim Cornell. We was the wrecking crew working with Louis Gosa, which was our boss, man. He was our supervisor. And we had a ball. Now, Louis' wife, her name was Merle. Merle, little short, something other. I mean, we call her short and sassy. But she worked in the cafeteria. That's also where I worked as well. I worked in the cafeteria with Louis' wife, and I was a student supervisor, Mr. Wood. He was a dietitian. He made me a student supervisor. Me and a couple of other my buddies, we were responsible for a lot of things during that time in the food service. So I tell y'all, I worked in food service throughout my college career. I always worked in food service. So I know what food's supposed to taste like. I know how it's supposed to be fixed. Believe me, I know. But at any rate, just to make a real long story short, after I left Berry, I went in the military. I through some hardships I got sick in the military. And matter of fact, it was just before Desert Storm hit. I was in Stuttgart, Germany, at 5th General Hospital. Blood pressure was so high they couldn't even get it down. They was getting ready to fire for jet to get me back to Walter Reed Hospital. But nevertheless, my doctor was a lieutenant colonel. They finally did get my blood pressure to come down. And after that, I had got in a little bit of trouble as well, and on top of that, with the sickness and the illness and everything, with the unit, this unit that I was with, it was a real detachment unit that I was a part of until I got to the desert where I could join up with my regular unit. Nevertheless, I never did make it, y'all. And so I ended up back in the States. And that was a hard pill to swallow, but nevertheless, it couldn't be helped. My captain, they couldn't send a soldier sick into the little combat zone. But at any rate, when I did get back, I was yet kind of working part-time in the food service. And I ended up uh, ended up in Fort Payne, Alabama. And that's where I was doing a little part-time work at Western Sizzle. I never will forget it. I was always in charge of the steaks and making certain everything was right and everything for the customers at hand. And this is where I first met Randy Owen. Yes, Randy Owen. I met Randy Owens. He lives in Fort Payne up above Little River Canyon. Up there, a great big farm he got up there, a big farm. I think it's about 3,000 acres. And I had a friend, buddy of mine. We used to ride around a lot, and I even went up there to see this big ranch that Randy Owens had. But at any rate, Randy Owens have got he got that up until now. But it was one Friday night. I was working at Western Sizzling, and Randy Owens and his family, they came in to eat, having their dinner. I got a chance then to meet Randy Owens and to talk to him. And I was subscribed to a keyboard magazine. I used to get the old prescription magazines, and I had one with me that particular night. And I had Randy Owens to autograph it, and he put some stuff down there. And I never will forget that. I never will forget that. So that by me being in the food service at that time, see, got me to the point of where I could actually meet a celebrity that I probably would have never met had I not been working at the Western Sizzling at that time. But at any rate, we just talking about what Jesus said, y'all, these days was coming. And we see that they are here. I fast forward now from that time, and I done seen a whole lot, y'all. I've been through a whole lot with illnesses and the conditions. I sat here before you tonight, or this morning, I should say, thanking God for the journey, because really I have had a pretty deep journey, and I had and it all had not been bad, y'all, but a lot of things that I did do, it was my fault. I must say it. I'm not going to put it on nobody. I put the blame on nobody but myself. But we sat here to tell you that these days are going to be, and people, for whatever reason, people get offended about every little bit of thing you tell them, especially if you're telling them the truth. And I'm like this here, well, if you so offended about the truth, then don't talk to me, because I'm going to speak the truth to the best I know how. I'm not trying to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, if you can't understand that or don't want to accept it, then don't ask me anything. I'm just telling you straight up. Don't ask you if you don't like me, man. I don't tell no. I'm not begging nobody to come to my Bible studies. You come if you want to. It's your prerogative. You sit in front of your computer just like I sit in front of mine. You can't tell me what to do with my computer, and I cannot tell you what to do with yours. That's just remember, y'all. We are living in a time where you just really cannot talk to too many people. They get offended. And Jesus said that these things were going to be. In the end, people will be very offended. That's exactly what he said. That you ain't going to be able to tell them nothing. And God knows that is the truth right now. You got people, you got mothers against daughters, fathers against sons, and everybody against everybody. Which, what? That shouldn't surprise you. If you know what Jesus said, there's no big surprise there. But we cannot take part in that activity. Now, y'all, this midman, y'all know I try to shoot from the hip straight as I can. It is a known fact. I think I heard Joel Osteen say this. I want to give the proper credit to the one that I remember saying. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Joel Osteen said this. He said, you can believe this if you want. 20% of the people that you meet not gonna like you. 20% of the people that you meet not gonna like you. Not based on anything that you've done, but listening to what other people have said and what other people do. I mean, y'all, you don't have nothing to do with what other people think about you. You don't have anything to do with that. What other people say about you. You can't help that. But you just mind what you do. In other words, you cannot help what other people say about you. You cannot help what other people say to other people about you. As long as you know that you don't fit that mold, don't worry about it. Come on, y'all, don't worry about it. Why? You think I'm going to set up in here in this wheelchair and worry about somebody that's saying something about me that don't know hill of beans about Ernest J. Walker? And most of the time, it's not the people that's distant from you is your enemy. It's the one right there with you. Those are your worst enemies. Why did I know that? Because Jesus said so. Remember I told y'all at the beginning of the broadcast what Jesus said is what counts, because that's what's going to be. It's going to be just like he said. Now, you got people that want to act funny with you. Well, I'm going to tell you what my great-grandmama used to tell us. So what? Let them go. My grandmama, Leola Walker, would tell you in a New York minute, feed people out of a long-handled spoon. Now, that don't mean I got to hate you, but I keep you at a distance because you are poison. You are poison and toxic. People that sits around and they want to talk about other folks all the time and talk bad about people, just keep talking bad about people. You don't know nothing about them people. You just speaking about because of somebody told you what somebody supposedly have said. You don't know whether they said that or not. Because my great-grandmama always told me, a dog that'll bring a bone or carry one. So in other words, you better watch the people that talking to you. You better watch them because people can't talk by themselves. In other words, people talk. I've had people to come up and not see them. They'll be, telling sometimes, "Oh, I got some bad news," and they smiling. I swear, if the news is bad, why are you smiling? Some people love to see you go through. They love to see you go through bad times. They don't care nothing about the good time. Now, they are not going to celebrate you at all, but they love to see you when you on hard time. Oh, yeah. When you ain't got no soup to put in your bowl, they could care less. But when you got a bowl full of soup, that's when they want to talk about you. They say you think you something then. Well, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Many man knows he's something. I'm everything inside of Christ. Outside of him ain't nothing. But in him, I'm everything. And those main people that bringing you that news about what somebody else said about you, oh my God, you better watch them. Most of the time, it is them that did most of the talking. Oh yeah, see y'all, I'm not talking about what somebody told me. I'm talking from experience. I don't experience these things. People that I thought that would have never done something, they sure surprised me, big time. And you got people that are doing it up until this day. Folks, they got a demeanor about them when they want everything to be about them. Everything they want it to be about them, and when it's not about them, they ain't got no. They don't have. They'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, when people start acting funny and distant with you, that should tell you something. Somebody done poison them. It's just like children. Children are very faithful to a degree. They're very faithful. One thing about a child, if a child likes you, they like you. But if a child that once was up on, and I told y'all this before, if a child that once be all up on you and that's hugging on your arms and they all over you, and they love the ground you walk on, and then the next week that child standing out from you looking like this here, that means somebody done poisoned that child. We even go that far is to poison a child. Look out, but the way they look and view another person, that's not right, y'all. But guess what? God is not blind. What goes around, sure enough, shall come back around. You can put that in the bank. You can put that in the bank. So that's how come I had to come, y'all, and then do this here live feed tonight on StreamYard. I'm doing it on StreamYard, and letting you know the platform is working pretty good. Which I figured that StreamYard always did work well for me. Matter of fact, I can pull people inside of StreamYard to be live as you with me. I think I can have up to about 4 to 6 people inside, including myself. And so we're not going to worry about it. But y'all just think about this here. You're not going through trouble alone. We don't have a monopoly on trouble, y'all. Everybody. And I do mean everybody have troubles. That's a given. And if you be a Christian, you sure not gonna have trouble. Oh yeah, you can look for that. And all of y'all super Christians out there that keep on talking about y'all don't ever have no trouble and everything, and y'all everything is good. Well, you better look back at your Christianity, because that's telling me something right there. That's telling me you may not be the Christian you think you are. If you ain't having no trouble, you better go back and check yourself. You better go back to the cross and check yourself to see that you really accept Jesus. Because, honey, if you accept the Christ, you're going to have trouble. That's just a given. You're going to have trouble. So all of you super Christians out there talking about you won't never go through nothing. Well, you telling the rest, you telling the world what you are. You telling, believe it, because you are going to have trials and tribulations if you be on Christ's side. So look to be talked about. Look to be spit on. Look to be stabbed in the back. Because remember what Jesus told his disciples. He said, you are not greater. The servant is not greater than the master. You are the servant. I am the master. But look, they did it to me first. So truly, if they did it to me, you already know what they're going to do to you. So that tell you something right there. You know God's people by the amount of suffering and persecution that they go through. That's one way. That's a surefire way of knowing, who are God's people. Now, I will admit, and then I'm going to close this video. Some of the things that happen to us, we are just reaping what we have sown. Now, I got to tell you that. So don't think now that everything that you're going through is a result of your quote unquote big time Christianity. No. Some of the things that you are reaping what you done sown. Those are seeds you have planted in your path. Now it's coming to pass, and the harvest is coming in now. And great hell is that harvest. You might plant a little, but you get back a whole lot. So with that being said, my cyber friends, I had to come and share that video, or this video, I should say, with y'all in the live feed, because I really do want the 2 or 3 people that do go to my Bible study understand what I will be doing. And that's why I explained it, that I will be using Restream on the Bible study nights, but you will have to contact with me. That's until they get the thing fixed. You'll have to contact me through the chat function inside of Facebook. I will get it, and we will go on with Bible study as usual. And as I always say, regardless of what you get or get into, if God is not in it, please, ma'am, please, sir, come on out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. Until the next video, next Bible study, whichever comes first, it's Middy Man saying peace and good morning.